Thank you very much, Igor. I think we will proceed as follows. After this presentation by Mr. Sechin, we'll have presentations from our panelists, and they will have about 5 to 6 minutes for their presentations. After that, since we have here a unique audience with the key CEOs of gas and oil companies present, and they know from their first-hand experience answers to some of the questions that Mr. Sechin has posed, we will pose some of these questions to them based on this topic that we're discussing. Basically, what we want to know is whether it is revolution or evolution, and whether trends that we are observing, whether they are fundamental or short-term. So once again, is it revolution or evolution in the supply and demand, in the market structure, in the price Jones, setting?
Could you show your, share your views, please? Yeah.
I think I have some slides.
We hope so.
Yeah, okay, good. We all know that the market has been pretty terrible this last year and a half, but there's been what I call diversity in the adversity. Demand lost about 3% in 2008, 2009. Another way to look at that is that OECD demand lost 4 years. It'll take at least as long to recover. Europe may take 5 years. But at the same time, China and India each increased their consumption by 10 BCM in the midst of the crisis. Of course, traditional producers of gas lost ground. Russia, Canada, Algeria, Nigeria all had declines in production. But some of the newcomers profited handsomely. Qatar LNG, non-conventional gas in the United States. There was also great pressure on prices, especially for oil-based prices on traditional long-term contracts. Next slide, yes. But no, go back, sorry. Return, please. Hello? No. Other direction. There we go, okay. But this diversity leads to uncertainty. More LNG is coming online, but how much will really be there? We show a profile on the screen here, but we know that projects could be delayed or stretched out. Non-conventional gas, next slide. Yeah, it's really a great success story, but will it prove sustainable? How far and how wide will it spread? Nobody really knows the answers to these questions. We do know that the US is significantly different from much of the rest of the world in many ways. Legally, in terms of the infrastructure that it has, and in terms of the popular acceptance that it has. It'll be an uphill fight for non-conventional gas in many countries. How fast will the economic growth recover? We still don't even know the ABCs of the recovery. Is it a V recovery, an L recovery, or a W recovery? And even if the shape of the economic recovery isn't that bad, will demand in the power sector recover as well? I mean, power sector is what drives demand for gas. Could we have a gasless recovery? In Europe, for example, we have the renewable targets, the so-called 20-20-20. What happens if that target is met for gas demand? Okay, next slide. Uncertainty can lead to more adversity, but it can also lead to opportunity, maybe even opportunity in diversity. For example, constantly declining fields, which are shown here in yellow on this slide, especially for non-conventional gas, which declines much more rapidly than traditional fields, by the way. It means that the need for new gas could be twice the size of the incremental demand between now and 2030. In the IEA, we talk about needing 4 Russias by 2030. And that's certainly a big chore. But you know, capital's a coward, and who wants to take on risk especially mega projects, given what's happened lately. On the other hand, if China and India suck up most of the new LNG that actually comes online, and the world economy begins to recover in earnest, maybe 2020 stalls because of tight budgets in Europe, so all of a sudden you could see a big turnaround in the whole demand profile. The glut would disappear quickly, especially if non-conventional gas proves to be a flash in the pan. If there's environmental regulations in the US that start to shut it down, or if people start looking at the profitability of some of these countries, and then certainly if other countries decide that they don't want to take on those environmental risks, or if for other reasons their basins don't prove to be as prolific in the, as in the United States. So there's a lot of uncertainty here. There's a lot of question. We always emphasize that in spite of all the problems, we need more investment. But what kind of investment should be made? We think companies should look very carefully at their investment opportunities. We think governments should look very carefully. But what producer do we think is best placed to benefit from a resurgence or a tightening of the gas market in the future? Russia. It's not only because of the size of the reserves and so on, but we see that Russia has the lowest cost potential for producing new gas. But to accomplish that, what it needs to do is actually things that they've already started doing. I mean, sure, we all hear about the big mega projects, Stockman and Yamal and so on. But in fact, what Russia really needs to do is practice energy efficiency, save the gas. There's no gas that's cheaper than gas you don't burn. They've already got the gas. They can, through energy efficiency, they can economize on the use of it. That would free up more for export. They can stop the flaring. They're already embarked in that direction. And the third thing they can do is they can give, and this is related to stopping the flaring, they can give access to the gas trunk line to independent producers. I think that Russia can have a tremendous increase in their gas exports without a concomitant increase in investment. That's a low-risk way to proceed, to be ready to take advantage of an upsurge in demand or a tightening of markets for other reasons without having to put a lot of capital out right now. So that's my message. Thank you.